Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is MichelleAna. If you're here for the first time, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back, family. It's so funny. We are on Monday. I'm just now getting the opportunity to sit down and film this video. I actually had a whole nother video planned out. That's the second time this has happened. And I sat down to kind of jot down some notes. Typically when it comes down to any video I do, I try to jot down some points, some notes, depending on what type of video it is, right? Anytime it's like a sit down, chatting it up with you guys, I want to make sure there is, a point that I'm bringing and driving home to you guys so that you guys can walk away from the video with something that you can apply to your life immediately. And so today I was going to talk about like knowing when to step away, whether it's knowing when to step away from social media, knowing when to step away from pretty much any situation that you can imagine that you would have to step away from for several different reasons, right? Overwhelm, lack of clarity, just too much going on, and you just have to step away, right? And so I was sitting down to film that, and God reminded me of this past weekend, a word that I shared with you guys on Instagram. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, I am at loveMichelleAna everywhere on social media. And on Instagram this weekend, I was invited by my friend Courtney to be a part of this like 3-4 day prayer that she was hosting on her platform. I believe her platform is Curls and Couture, and I think that's it. I'm going to link it below so you guys can watch it if you want to. But she posted the live onto her timeline, but the point is that she asked me to come in and specifically pray on the topic that she and I had discussed prior to the live, and I didn't find it I didn't find it ironic at all that she wanted me to pray on this, because God had already been kind of showing me certain things regarding prayer and specifically the topic at hand. So today's video, I'm going to walk you through my thoughts on that, and hopefully I'm not all over the place because I literally have no notes for this today. So if you guys want to see how this all unravels, just keep on watching. So what God was showing me was, there's a lot of ways in which we can advocate for the voiceless, that there are many ways that we can advocate for those that are oppressed. There are many ways that we can advocate for people in our lives, for causes that we stand for. Sorry y'all, I just cut my bangs, and like I feel like I may need to cut a little bit more into them, so if they look kind of awkward, my bad. But anyway, there are so many issues and causes that really strike our hearts, right? And one of the things that we're seeing a lot, obviously, with the climate of this world and our nation, is the injustices that have been happening for a very long time, and the root of it is just this sin and this evil spirit of racism against Black lives, right? And so really what the revelation that I had came after watching one of my friend's IGTVs, and she said this. She said, intercession is the highest form of advocacy. And it's so crazy because before that, I posted something on Instagram where my friend, I didn't even know she snapped a picture of me on my knees worshiping a few weeks ago. I was watching a live stream and the worship was going on, and I was leaving. I just had to leave. And so I was about to turn the TV off, and like literally I was just overwhelmed by the presence of God, and I just got on my knees and I was like worshiping God for I can't remember specifically what it was at that moment, but I mean, y'all, it don't take much for me to get like, I go in. And so I wanted to remind people that after after all is said and done, me personally, prayer is ultimately my first response to anything. Prayer is the foundation of the reason why I'm even here today. God has rescued me from so much. God has been my defender. He has been my champion. He has been my hero time and time again. You want to know why? Because I've opened my mouth, and it says in the word that the prayers of the righteous availeth much. And even those that pray for you, there's power in the words that they speak over you and petition God for and heaven for your life regarding you. So imagine, with all this outbreak, with all these things that have been happening lately, at the core of this whole thing, I want y'all to know that you guys may not have seen my donations and might not have seen the calls that I made and the petitions that I've signed, and you may not even have seen the posts that I've made. That doesn't even matter, honestly. What matters at the core of it at this point in time is that I am remaining on my posts in prayer as first of all as a child of God, but also one that her heart breaks for the injustice that is happening, that has happened for several years, far beyond my years, that's for sure. And so, whenever I kind of see things like that happen, it feels like it personally breaks my heart. I prayed this prayer years ago, and I don't take it lightly. So when people say it, I'm like, I hope you really mean that. When we say, God, break our hearts for what breaks yours, that is heavy. When you pray that, you better believe that you are going to feel the brokenness of some people that are oppressed. You're going to feel the brokenness of this world. You're going to somehow feel a glimpse of what breaks God's heart, right? And that's one of the things, that breaks God's heart, to see his kids being mistreated, right? And back to the point, when she said that, I was like, wow, we are so in line with what God's heart is translating in this season, that even after we practically do all of this, and even before we do any of the practical things, we must remember that our prayer is powerful. There's life and death in the power of our tongue and what we speak out. And if we can just remember that we have that power, there's a lot of things that can change around us in our personal lives, in our nation, in our world, in our families, in our children, in our marriages, whatever situation you find yourself in. There's a lot that can change, and there's a lot that there are miracles waiting to happen as a result of you opening your mouth. And so y'all need to get in position, y'all. So, after that, when my friend Courtney told me that she wanted me to pray on leadership, I was like, okay, so when you first tell me that, this is what I think. And I sat on that in that morning of, and we were both in the vein. We were chatting, we were talking on text message, and I was like, okay, I really feel like the Lord, yes, he's calling me to pray for the leaders, the ones that hold titles, whether it be in our government, in our churches, or whatever. But he's also calling me to pray for the unconventional leaders, those that are leading the paths and pioneering ways as entrepreneurs, as influencers, as creatives. And this is why I always get shook when you are in such a cadence with God, and in such a flow and alignment with God. There are things that you do, that you step into, that you don't even know why, and it doesn't even make sense. But when you look back, you're like, that's why you wanted me to launch the Flourish Effect when you wanted me to launch it. That's why you wanted me to walk out, and step out on faith regarding so-and-so and ABC and XYZ. I look back at my life, I'm like, yo, God, you are so dope and so amazing and so timely that it's almost like, how dare I even doubt that you don't have my back regarding even the small things or even the desires of my heart. How dare I think for a moment that you are not listening and tuning your ear into even those things in my heart. And so Oops, I forgot to put my phone on silent. But coming back to the point again, I just think that at this time, you know, praying over leaders, if you're watching this, you somehow are a leader, whether you're leading your home, you're leading your groups, your small groups, you're leading your community, you're leading whatever. If you are a leader, you are literally pioneering ways that have never been seen before. And I think now more than ever, you know, my prayer for you guys is that the Lord equip you with every tool and every resource and everything that you need. But ultimately, you have to remember that God has already given inside of you, He's already qualified you to do the works, right? And I think that sometimes we get so caught up and so oppressed in our minds, you know, because we're looking at the natural. We're looking at all these things that are not working out. It couldn't be the right time. It just can't be. Why isn't it the right time? I don't understand that, right? And so it's just the reality that even I have lived. It took me, oh my God, y'all, it took me like almost a year to even be okay with the fact that, like, I was called to do this, you know, and I started recognizing some things in my heart and in my life, and how the enemy would attack certain things, and how it was related to my gifting and related to what God had actually called me to do. And when I recognized that, the areas that he was trying to just really attack me and torment me in, I was like, oh nah, see, that's what we're not gonna do. So like, okay, I need to understand why the enemy is attacking me in this way. There must be something great in me that he don't want me to birth, right? So with all that being said, the point of this video really is, y'all, because it's getting hot. I'm like sweating. I don't have no fan on because I didn't want the sound to like get messed up with all of that. So I've turned like the AC off. But the point of this video is that to remember that there's power when you pray. Yes, do the things that are practical for the causes that you believe in, that you just your heart is inclined, and it breaks your heart to see the injustices that is going on right now. Do the practical things, but do not forget that our first response is prayer. Do not forget that our trust is not in us, but it's in our Heavenly Father. And don't ever think that your prayers don't carry weight. Don't ever think that your prayers don't shift and move things in the spirit realm. There are things that we cannot see that are being manifested, and we may not see it today. We may not even see it in our lifetime, but God is doing a new thing on this earth, and he's doing it grand. Like, sometimes we need to see things break and completely dismantle itself in order to do that heart surgery, so that then all the things that don't belong can be out and extracted and dismantled, so then the healing can happen. Right? And I guess the point that I want you guys to walk away from is, don't discredit the power of your prayers. Your prayers are so valuable and are so needed, no matter how poetic they are or simple they are. It doesn't matter, y'all. As long as you are praying to the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords and our Abba Father, know that he got you. He loves his kids, okay? He loves his kids. All right, y'all. I hope that today's video was helpful. Please comment in the comment sections below with, you know, what your prayers are for this season, for our nation, for your life specifically, you know, what your journey with prayer has been. I haven't always been a big prayer person. There was a moment in time where I was afraid of the prayers that I would pray, because certain things started really happening. And I was like, oh, hold up. That's a lot. So, you know, please leave a comment in the comment section below. I want to know what your experience has been with prayer and with God. So I hope you guys are doing well and are taking care of your mind and your heart, your soul. Please be safe as the world starts opening up again, wherever you are in this country or globally. I just pray that you are safe and that you are protected in Jesus' name. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure you turn on those notifications so that you don't miss when I post a video. Thank you guys so much.